AITA for embarrassing my husband and being dramatic? My husband and I have a 17-year-old son, Jake. Jake is about 6 feet 4 inches, my husband is around 5 feet 10 inches and I'm 5 feet 10 inches as well. My husband's family are all average height while my family is a lot taller. I'm actually the shortest of 3 sisters and a brother. But, like most sane people, I don't care about height. I assumed my husband didn't either, seeing that he married me and would defend me every time one of his brothers tried making a rude joke. But ever since our son surpassed our height when he was 15, my husband has been making a few very off comments. Basically just things like, he's too tall, is he even mine? You know, comments that make it seem like I cheated on him. Jake also has more of my features, so yeah. I never thought much of his comments because he still treated our son like our other kids and would only say it once every year or something. Also, my mom had cancer, so I was a bit distracted. Anyways, my husband and I were picking my brother up from the hospital and why, but my husband thought it would be a great idea to start complaining about our son. He said the usual. He's nothing like me. He's not smart, he's too tall, he likes the sports I dislike, etc. That has to mean something, right? I was honestly so over it and asked him if he was a fucking idiot. He's a biology teacher, for fuck's sake, does he not know how genetics work? I said all that and told him that if he was so fucking concerned then he can get a paternity test, but I'm done with him. My brother heard all of this and told my husband to quit acting like a stick, and that was it until we dropped my brother off. Then he started yelling at me saying I didn't have to say all that in front of my brother and that I embarrassed him. He said that he already doesn't like being around my brother because he's 6 feet 6 inches and I just made him feel worse. I called him crazy for being intimidated/jealous of my brother and also said he did this to himself and he needs to stop talking about our son like that. He just said that he's venting to me, his wife, and it's not like he's doing anything to our son. He claims I'm overreacting and being a drama queen. I just says you, but he insists I'm the AH, and after dropping me home, left and still hasn't come home. My mother said that he's being crazy, but I didn't have to say anything in front of my brother and I did overdo it a bit. My sister agrees as well and they think I should apologize for that. AITA? Update. I was honestly just in a really bad mood for a long time after I made the post. My husband still wasn't messaging me back and my kids were starting to notice that something was off. I ended up telling them that their dad had an emergency, but they didn't really buy it. Teenagers. Anyways, I texted my husband one last time saying that if he didn't answer by the morning then I'm done. I'm exhausted and I refuse to deal with his bullshit anymore. I told him that he can expect divorce papers soon if he plans on ignoring me. Guess who replied in the morning? He told me if I was being serious and I said that I was. I also told him that he can do a paternity test, but he can tell our son why. He started crying. Yeah. He started crying after calling me a drama queen and said that he's just insecure because his friends put ideas in his head. When I asked him why he has more faith in them than me, he didn't answer. I told him to get some therapy because I can't and refuse to be with someone that is jealous of their own child. I told him to imagine how our son would feel if he knows just how much he resents him. Husband interrupted saying that he doesn't hate him and I told him to fucking prove it then. He was quiet for a while but said he'd see a therapist. This was such a relief and I almost cried, lol. We both agreed that he'd stay with his sister, he's been with her this whole time, until his first session. I told our children that their father isn't mentally well right now but they can visit him anytime. Our son was very worried and called him immediately. Husband called me later saying he feels so guilty, especially after their phone call. I just said good. Honestly? I still don't know how this will end. I want to believe in my husband but I'm finding it so hard. My son does feel like his dad and him aren't very close, but he isn't aware of any of my husband's thoughts. On another note, my brother called me saying he talked to my husband a few days ago and said that he gave my husband a real reason to be scared/intimidated by him. My sister also came to her senses after my brother made fun of her. Gotta love older brothers, right? My mom still thinks I should apologize for the kids. I mean, so long as she isn't butting in, she's entitled to her own opinion. Overall, I just want to say TYSM for all the comments. Didn't expect so many considering I've never really used Reddit before and it's my sister who wanted me to make the post. Thanks again for giving me supportive as well as harsh judgment. I needed to hear it.